Have you ever noticed that little battle that happens in your head when you're trying to focus? Part of your brain is literally calculating, should I stick with this or should I just switch to something easier? Well, that tiny calculation, it happens thousands of times a day. And believe it or not, it's quietly wrecking our ability to do anything truly meaningful.
But what if? What if we could flip that whole thing on its head? I mean, what if doing the hard thing, what if discipline could feel just as good as mindlessly scrolling through your social media feed? Now, this isn't some motivational pep talk. This is neuroscience. And today we are going to break down exactly how you can make that a reality for yourself.
And this really gets to the absolute core of the problem. It's not that you lack willpower or that there's something wrong with you. The truth is, your brain is running on this ancient survival software, but it's living in a modern world designed to exploit every last bit of it. So let's get into it. You've got to think of your brain as this little economic investor inside your skull. It's constantly asking one single question: what's the best return on my energy? Now, if something is high effort and the reward is uncertain, your brain slams on the brakes. But something that's low effort with a guaranteed hit of pleasure, oh, that gets an instant green light every single time.
And this brings us to dopamine, and we really need to clear up a huge misconception here. We all hear it called the pleasure chemical, but that's not really accurate. Dopamine is the wanting chemical. It's the molecule of anticipation. It's what spikes before you get the reward, driving you to seek it out. It's the chemical reason you feel that urge to swipe just one more time.
So here's the crucial point. Our modern world is basically a minefield of these easy rewards. Every app, every snack, every notification has been engineered to give you that little dopamine jolt with almost zero effort. And this constant low-grade stimulation is having an absolutely devastating effect on our ability to focus on the things that actually matter. Okay, so how does this actually work inside our brains? To get it, we need to understand a biological process called dopamine downregulation. This is the science that explains exactly why you feel so unmotivated sometimes and why discipline can feel next to impossible.
So here's how the cycle works. Step 1, you're getting slammed with these constant, easy hits of dopamine. In response, your brain, trying to protect itself, adapts by literally reducing the number of dopamine receptors. It's like it's turning down the volume on satisfaction. And what happens next? Well, now you need way more stimulation just to feel interested, and all of a sudden, normal activities like reading a book or going for a walk feel incredibly, painfully boring.
What's happened is that your brain's baseline for what it considers interesting has been completely recalibrated. Now, I want to be super clear. This is not your fault. It's a predictable biological state. But here's the really good news. Your brain is plastic. What has been wired can be rewired. You are absolutely not stuck this way.
So how in the world do we do it? We have to actively reset our brain's baseline. And this isn't about getting rid of dopamine entirely. We need it. It's about getting rid of the artificial, hyper-stimulating sources so that we can shift our focus from just chasing cheap pleasure to actually building genuine, lasting satisfaction.
And you've got to understand the difference here. Pleasure, that's what you get from scrolling a feed. It's immediate, it's fleeting, and it takes zero work. Satisfaction, on the other hand, is what you get from finishing a tough workout. It's delayed, it lasts, and it requires real effort. See, our world bombards us with pleasure, but it leaves us completely starved of satisfaction. Now, I have to prepare you. The first few days of a reset like this, they're going to be tough. You're probably going to feel restless, irritable, and just bored. But you have to understand, this feeling is not a sign that you're failing. It's withdrawal. It's literally the feeling of your brain reorganizing itself, and it means the process is working.
Okay, so let's get practical. Section 4 is your actionable plan. We've talked a lot about the why, and now we're going to dive deep into the how, with a really clear framework you can start using today to take back control of your brain's reward system. All right, first things first, you need to identify your personal traps. And we're not just talking about things you enjoy. We're talking about the things that give you that intense hit of pleasure for the absolute least amount of effort. For most of us, that's going to be things on this list. You have to be really honest with yourself here about your biggest time and energy sinks. So the plan itself is actually pretty simple. You've just identified your traps. Now you're going to eliminate them for a set amount of time. 7 days is a really great place to start. But listen, this next part is the most important. You cannot just create a vacuum. You have to actively replace those old habits with new ones. So what do you replace them with? Think slow. Think sustainable. Activities that build that deep satisfaction we were talking about. Reading a physical book, cooking a real meal from scratch, going for a walk with no headphones, just your thoughts. Yeah, these things might feel a little boring at first, but as you stick with it, your brain literally retrains itself to find them rewarding again.
So what's on the other side of all this effort? Let's talk about life after the reset. Because this is about so much more than a temporary fix. It's about fundamentally shifting your mindset and your brain's wiring so that discipline becomes your new normal, your new default state. And the benefits, they are profound. Your attention span will actually expand. You'll experience a clarity of thought you might have forgotten was even possible. Your energy levels will stabilize because you're not riding that crazy dopamine roller coaster all day. And here's the most surprising part. You'll start to feel genuine excitement for things that used to feel like chores. Your actions will finally start to line up with your intentions. And this right here is the ultimate goal. When you rewire your reward system, discipline is no longer this constant, grinding, uphill battle. It's not something you have to force with sheer willpower. It just becomes your default state because your brain now actually prefers the deep satisfaction of effort over the shallow pleasure of distraction. But let's be crystal clear. This is not a one-and-done fix. Your brain will always be tempted to drift back towards those easy rewards. And that's why the long-term key to success is to design your environment to make discipline the path of least resistance. Put barriers between you and your distractions. Make your healthy, productive habits as easy and frictionless as possible. So let's not end this with you just passively clicking on the next thing. That's what the old version of your brain wants you to do. Instead, let's make a concrete decision. Right here, right now. What is the single biggest source of empty dopamine in your life? Identify it. And then, commit to removing it for just the next 7 days. Just see what happens. The path to becoming that disciplined person you want to be, it starts with this one single choice.